Hello my loves, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video. This video has been highly requested. You guys always ask me, how do I record content all of the time? How do I edit my videos and post consistently on my YouTube channel? And in today's video, I want to show you guys step by step how I prepare myself to record, tips on how I record, as well as how I edit my long form content. I'm telling you guys right now, this video is going to be very detailed and very long. So make sure you have your snack, make sure you have your notepad so you can write things down. Make sure you guys have your best attentive listening hats on, because I'm giving you guys all of the tips and all of the tea in today's video. So if you guys are a content creator, or you're looking to get into content, or you just want to be in my business, then go ahead and keep on watching. Before we get started with today's video, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Give this video a big thumbs up, drop a comment down below, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So before we get started, I wanted to address today's look. So my hair, I actually did a whole video on it. I will link that up above in the cards of everything I used to achieve this hair. It looks like a wash and go, but it's a twist out. Okay. Earrings are coming from Marshall's. My top is from Aritzia. If this color is still available, I will link it down below. And that is today's look. I feel real cute. But let's go ahead and get into the video. So I want to break this video up into different sections. So if you guys look down below on the timeline, you guys will see different chapters of topics we're going to cover in today's video. So that'll be a great resource. So when it's time for you guys to come back and you're like, what she said over here, what she said about this, you guys can just scroll to the part of the video you guys are looking for. Also, I will have links to all of the equipment as well as programs that we are going to chat about in today's video. So make sure you guys check the description box, because I'm always kind enough to share links with you guys. So check the description box for all links that we're going to discuss in today's video. So in case you guys are new here, welcome. You have found your way to an amazing place on Beyonce's internet. If you guys are returning, thank you guys so much for clicking on another video. My name is Kendra, aka Kensthetic, and my YouTube channel is all about making at least one person see and understand the beauty of every aspect of life. So with that, I upload vlogs on my YouTube channel, beauty videos, travel videos, chit chat videos, like whatever I'm interested in at the time, that is what I create content about. I just wanted to give you guys some background, information in case this is your first time on my YouTube channel. So we're gonna start off with the prerequisites. So before you sit down to edit a video, what do you need? What should you do? Let's get into it. First up is the equipment. I'm about to show you guys everything that I currently use when it comes to recording content, starting with my vlogs. So my current vlog camera, this is a Sony ZV-1. I did a whole separate video about this camera right here. So if you guys want to hear and see more about this camera, my first impressions, go ahead and check out my Sony ZV-1 review video. I'll link it up above and down below. But I have been experimenting new ways to use this camera. So once I feel comfortable enough and confident enough, I will share those tips with you guys. But for now, you guys can check out that camera. This is what I use to vlog. Absolutely love it. 10 out of 10 as a vlogging camera. It is just, it's lit. I like it. It's lightweight. It's small, smaller than my iPhone 13. This is the regular iPhone 13. But for size and reference, this is the size of the camera. But I love it. I love it. Before I got the Sony ZV-1, I was actually using my Canon M50 to record my vlogs, and you guys can see the size difference and only imagine the weight difference between these two cameras. So my Sony ZV-1 is my vlogging camera now, and then my Canon M50 is what I use to take all of my Instagram pictures, all of my thumbnail pictures. I use this camera right here. So with my Sony ZV-1, I do have the Sony tripod for this camera. I decided to get this tripod because it has functionalities which complement the Sony ZV-1 camera. So it has a functionality to zoom in and zoom out without having to actually go on top of the camera to do it. So it just makes it easier. When I'm vlogging, I could go ahead and just hit this to zoom in and zoom out. I can hit this to start and stop recording. The only thing is that the batteries of this tripod, I find that they die pretty quickly because I'm not responsible enough to turn the tripod off each time I'm not using it. So it is my fault. It's my fault. But this tripod, I highly recommend that you get the tripod if you have this camera, because it does a great job making vlogging easier, and we love anything that makes anything we're doing easier, right? So this is a tripod that I'll use on my camera when I'm like out and about, but when I'm in the house and I'm vlogging around, you know, the kitchen, the bathroom, my bedroom, this is a tripod that I use. This is the Ulanzi. I don't know the code of this tripod, but I will link it down below. This tripod goes up to, I believe, 60 inches with height, and I recently discovered this about this tripod, and I'm like, girl, be serious. Be for real, for real. This tripod, you can go ahead and mount your camera on it right here with this mount, but also you can put your phone on it too. Like, hello, this tripod is a content creator's dream. Like, you could do this, but then it could do this too. You could go ahead and do this too. Hello? Hello? I absolutely love this tripod. I actually have 2 of these tripods because I love them so much. Definitely a must-have, whether you're using a Sony ZV-1. It also holds the weight of this Canon M50, and y'all, this camera, it's a little brick. It's a little hefty. So the fact that it can hold the weight of this camera, I'm pretty sure whatever camera you're using to vlog or record with, this tripod can hold the weight. I also have 3 spare batteries for my Sony ZV-1 camera. With the spare batteries for the Sony ZV-1 camera, I do want to say, and I did call this out in my review video for the camera, you want to make sure that the batteries are Sony batteries, because if you use like the little bootleg off-brand batteries, they ruin the quality of your camera over time. So I'll have the link down below for the batteries that I use to go with my Sony ZV-1 camera. But if you guys have the Sony ZV-1 camera, I'm telling you guys, get extra batteries, because especially if you're recording in 4K, then batteries are going to die very, very quickly. So extra batteries is a must. And the newest girl on the block, this is my Ulanzi SC02 mount. Y'all, this mount right here, I definitely want to order another one, but this mount is basically a suction cup mount. So whether you want to vlog like in your car, or you want to put this up like on a mirror to record content, this suction cup is the friggin' truth. It holds a great amount of weight, and you just have to make sure with this that you put it up correctly. So you just have to suction this against whatever the surface is and pump this lever until the line is like invisible, like you want it to be like this. So highly recommend this. It's currently on sale on Amazon. It's been on sale for a while, so if you all want to get this, get it now. The link will be down below. When it comes to storing your files, you want to make sure that you have a good size memory card, aka SD card. I have a few SD cards. I have a few in this holder. I got this SD card holder from Amazon. It'll be linked down below. But I have 128 gig. That is the lowest amount of gigabytes that I will accept at this point of my journey, because when you get the 32s and the 64s, especially with me vlogging and me vlogging in 4K on this camera, the memory is going to run out pretty quickly. So I make sure to have 128 gigabytes or 256 gigabytes on my SD card. And then I also have like micro SD cards that I use in my drone, as well as my Osmo Pocket, which we'll get into those in a separate portion or part 2 of this video, because I don't use those devices on a day-to-day. Those are more so like travel content essentials. So if you guys want like a part 2 of me showing you guys like what I use to record content when I am traveling, we can definitely do that. But I want to keep this very basic for this being the first part. So SD cards, SD card holder, as well as an SD card reader. So when I edit on my iMac, my baby girl right here, and I also edit on my MacBook. So with the newer MacBooks, we don't have USB ports anymore. We only have USB-C. ports. So this reader right here is amazing because it connects to USB-C ports, and it has all of these outlets to put in like SD cards, USB, whatever you have going on, it can go in here. So this is what I use when it's time for me to transfer my files from my SD cards onto my external hard drive, which we're gonna get into next. So this is a reader that I use to transfer files off of my SD cards because I can't insert my SD card directly into my MacBook. Last but not least, if you are a content creator, I highly recommend that you invest in a good external hard drive. So I actually have a ton of these. This is a brand of external hard drives I have been using since I started my YouTube channel. I probably have about 10 of these by now because the content is always contenting. So it's from the brand Western Digital. It's the WD Elements external hard drive, and I purchased these from Amazon. Whenever I see these on sale, I just go ahead and buy one or two or three because I'm always going to need them. With the amount of terabytes on the external hard drive, I play it safe because I'm always scared, like, okay, if I have 2 terabytes, God forbid something happens, I'm not losing too much stuff. You get what I'm saying? Versus if I have 5 terabytes, 10 terabytes or whatever, God forbid something happens, I'm losing a whole lot of stuff. Y'all get what I'm saying? So just choose wisely, trust yourself, be confident with your choice when you choose how many terabytes you want your external hard drive to have. But these could range probably from like $60 to probably like $200 on Amazon, which is why I said invest. Okay, because it's an investment in a good external hard drive because it will literally make or break your content creation experience. So I believe that is everything that I use when it comes to creating vlog content. I also use this camera, which I'm recording on right now. This is my Canon 80D with a Sigma 35mm lens. This is my go-to for like sit down videos. The quality of this camera, chef's kiss. So I use the Canon 80D body with the 35mm lens, and I use a Dolica tripod. This is like a heavier duty tripod. You want to make sure that specifically with this camera body, you have a tripod that will hold her up, that will support her, that will take her across the waters and back, because this is an expensive camera setup. And the last thing that I would want is for anything to happen to my baby girl. And then with this camera setup, I do use this microphone. This is my Rode mic. I got this as a gift, and this has literally transformed the audio quality of my content. Okay, it's a Rode mic, and I have this magic rig to help connect it to this mini tripod, which is also Ulanzi tripod. So all of this equipment, it'll be linked down below. Make sure you check the description box. Okay, I kind of like this. Now I see why everybody is obsessed with ASMR content. So I did want to share some tips on vlogging or recording content, things that you should just think about before you or while you are recording the content. One, I would recommend being intentional about the clips that you are recording and just having a vision for what you want your content to look like. That is what makes the editing process way easier. So if you want like, you know, chit chat content, or you want B-roll content, or you want, I don't know what the other options are, but just be mindful of what you want the vision of your content to look like. Specifically with me, with my vlogs, I always have an idea of how I want things to flow. I try to do an equal balance between like sitting and talking to the camera versus showing you guys what I'm doing, me out and about, X, Y, and Z. You want to make sure you have an equal balance because you have to think about your audience at all times. Some people like the chit chats, and some people like the out and about, doing what you got to do, taking people along with you for the ride. So just be cautious of the types of content you include in a video. Also, this used to be something that I didn't understand why people complained about, but as I continued watching other people's content, you know, doing my research and editing my content and watching my content back, a lot of people used to complain about me saying me smacking my mouth, me cursing, and I was just like, it's not that serious. But as you progress in anything that you do, you find areas of critique or things that you can improve on. And over time, I'm like, yeah, these are things that I can improve on, because it just makes the quality of my content so much better. Now that I watch people's videos and when I hear this, it literally makes me cringe. Like if somebody is like, so we went to the store and then that mouse smack, that is what gets me. So just be mindful of that. Saying if it's something you can't avoid doing, just edit it out. Just edit it out. I'm telling you guys, it will make the quality of your content so much better. And you guys may be listening to me like, girl, it's not that deep, but low key, it is. It is. And overall, I think that with me being mindful of this, it has enhanced my presentation skills across the board, especially in my professional career as well. Whenever I have to present, whenever I would pause to think, that is when I would say and I have found other things to do instead, whether it be just take a break and pause and really recollect your thoughts to go on with what you're saying. Is such a distraction, and you don't realize it until you hear it back or until you listen to it back. So I say all of that to just say to be mindful of things that you leave in your videos, distractions that your audience can, not like it can literally be the make or break between somebody watching your video all the way or somebody clicking out once they hear that first mouse smack. So just be mindful of that. If it's something you can't avoid or something you're working on, just edit it out. It takes 2 seconds. So moving on to the program that I use to edit my content, I use Final Cut Pro, I use Photoshop, and I also use Canva. So I use Final Cut Pro to actually edit my content, like the video content. I use Final Cut Pro. This is what I've been using since 2016. Before I even started my YouTube channel, I used to be on Final Cut Pro practicing. Like when I start my YouTube channel, I'm gonna know what to do because I already started practicing. I love that for me. But I have Final Cut Pro. I believe I paid $300 for it on the Apple App Store on Apple. I'm not sure if it's the same price, but when you pay that $300, that is it. It's not like a subscription-based program. It is just you pay one time and it will be connected to your iCloud. So if you're editing on your iMac and on your MacBook like me, I make sure that both of my devices are logged into the same iCloud so that I can have access to this program on both devices and I don't have to pay for it twice on different iClouds, because I do have like 3 iClouds. So yeah, but either way, I use Final Cut Pro to edit my video content. I use Photoshop to create my thumbnails. I have been using Photoshop since I was like a freshman in college, because I used to do public relations for different like e-boards, but that experience has carried over into my digital creation. And now I know how to use Photoshop and I use that to create my thumbnails. It's the easiest for me because I know how to work and maneuver that program so well. I have been keeping up with the upgrades year after year after year, and now I'm at a place where I could use it to create whatever I have, whatever vision I have in my mind. I know that I can turn it into reality in Photoshop, and I love that for me. If I'm on the go and I don't have access to Photoshop, I do use Canva to create my thumbnails. So that's another option that you have as well. But we're gonna get into thumbnails a little later on. But I just wanted to give you guys the basis of like what programs I use across the board when it comes to content creation. Final Cut Pro, Photoshop, and Canva. Now is the fun / exciting part. We are going to hop into Final Cut Pro. I'm gonna try to be as detailed as possible, but if you guys have any questions after I finish explaining everything, just leave a comment down below and I will be sure to respond, okay? Whether it be in the comment section or in part 2 of this video or this series or whatever we make of it. So let's go ahead and hop over into the screen share. When it comes to editing, the first thing that I like to do is to make sure that my external hard drive is very, very organized. So as you guys can see, I have these folders here, and in 2024, I have these subfolders. So I organize my content one based on the month. So right now we are in March. So if I click on March, you guys can see all of the content that I have edited or have planned based on the date that it's gonna go live. So I go ahead and name each folder with the date. and then the name of the video or the concept of the video. So all of the folders are here with the contents, and then I have this folder that I have in each month, which is basically my short form content, and I have it organized the same way. This is based on the date that it was recorded and whatever it relates to. So I like to make sure that my files are super organized. It just makes it better to edit and to find things and to reference things. I just love organization. It just makes my brain function better. You get what I'm saying? You know the vibes. But either way, I make sure that my folders are well organized. And I also make sure that whenever I transfer content off of my SD card into one of these folders, that I delete it off of my SD card so that I can now have more memory on that SD card. So it, one, leads to me not having to purchase as many SD cards, and two, it helps with the organization of my whole system. So I'm going to show you guys how I set one of these folders up right now. So I'm actually going to set up a folder for this video. So I'm just going to right click and click new folder. And this video should be going live on 3/21. And I'm just going to put, oh, I already have one, how to edit. I already have a folder, so let me just delete this one. I had this one, how to edit. So I already knew this video was gonna become a thing, so I had created my folder in advance. Look at me taking steps to achieve greatness. But either way, and then this is the drive for the SD card. So I recorded this on my Canon, so it's gonna be here in DCIM 101. And then I just go ahead and organize it by date. And these are all of the clips that I recorded so far for this how to edit video. So I'm just gonna drag those over into this folder on my external hard drive, and the files are going to sync over. So as that's going in the background, we're gonna come over to Final Cut Pro. Excuse these faces, but this is Final Cut Pro, and just so you guys know, I am on my iMac. It'll be the same setup on a MacBook, but I just wanted to let you guys know. So in a Final Cut Pro, there are different tiers of projects. So first you have a library. So this is my library here where it says Untitled. Let me make this smaller so you guys can see everything. So this is my library here. It says Untitled. That's just the name of it. And then within a library, you will have different events, which are all of these like subfolders here. And then within an event, you will have a project or multiple projects. So for instance, this 324 vlog that I'm working on, the projects are here. So I have this project here, which is the actual vlog footage, and then I also have this project here, which is where I create my IG promo video, like the little clip that you guys see me put on my IG stories. I create that here in this project titled IG promo. So I'm gonna walk you guys through a real life example of me editing so you guys can see my thought process of everything, and I could show you guys what I do. How do you create a events in Final Cut Pro? So you just want to right click on the library name and then select new event. So I'm actually going to create a event for this video. So 321 how to edit. All of these settings I keep the same because they're already preset. So it has the correct orientation for YouTube, so 1920 by 1080, and everything here remains the same. So if you guys want a reference of the settings that I use to create a new event, this is what I use right here. And then I go ahead and I click OK. And now we have a new event here, 321 how to edit, and it automatically creates a project. So I'm just gonna go ahead and retitle this project and just put 321 how to edit. But if you do want to create an additional project or additional projects, you just right click on the event name and then click new project. And I'm always going to need an IG promo, which is what I put in my stories. So with this project here, I'm gonna change the orientation of it to make sure that it is the correct orientation for Instagram. So where it says video, I'm just going to click on that and then select custom from the drop down menu. And I'm gonna change the dimensions to 1080 times 1920, which is the orientation for if you're trying to do IG Reels, if you're trying to do TikTok videos, if you're trying to do IG stories, this is the orientation size that you want to have. So 1080 by 1920, I'm gonna select OK, and you guys see it created this project right here. So let's see, the files are not done transferring yet, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna let that finish. Once all of the files have transferred from the SD card to the external hard drive, they are now in this folder, how to edit. So now we're gonna switch back to Final Cut Pro, and we're now gonna insert these files into our project and then onto our timeline. So you're gonna go ahead and I hit Command I, that's the shortcut, but you can also hit File, Import, Media. You're now going to navigate to your external hard drive, which is here, Kensthetic 2024. And then you're gonna find the folder where you have the files, 321 how to edit. And I'm gonna go ahead and select all, or whatever clips or content you wanna insert, you're gonna select it. You can also hit import all. So that's gonna go ahead and import all of these files that are in this folder. So now you can see all of the files are now in this 321 how to edit event. So now for the project, you're gonna have to insert the clips onto the timeline. This down here is the timeline. So this is where we are actually gonna, perform our editing. So I'm gonna go ahead and drag all of the files onto the timeline in the order that I want them to be. So I'm just gonna go ahead and select them and drag them onto the timeline. Oh, I think I did this backwards. Yeah, sorry. I inserted that on my IG promo. That's why the orientation looks a little wonky. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that, and it needs to go here in the YouTube one. Drag them down here. Yeah, see? So it's better now. And these two first clips, these were practice. So I'm just gonna delete these. And now we are going to get into editing. So I'm gonna talk you guys through these steps as my mind works when it's time to edit. So just follow along, okay? So now that we have all of the clips onto the timeline, you want to make sure that all of the clips volumes is consistent. So you know how you watch YouTube videos, you'll be watching a video and then the ad comes on and it either goes really high or really low. It's because the volume across the board is not consistent. And I have learned that the hard way. I'm just like, why am I shouting? And then the ad comes on and it's on whisper. You know what I'm saying? So when I insert clips onto the timeline, I always make sure to adjust the volume to -12. So this lever right here, this yellow line, this is going to help you control the volume of your clips and your content. So I'm just going to drag this to -12. That is the standard across the board when it comes to reasonable volume. I mean, if you're yelling, girl, you might have to put it a little lower, but I'm just going to adjust all of the clips to -12. So you can either adjust that with this lever here, or you can go ahead and click this little speaker icon, and then where it says volume, you could just type it in. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it that way with this next clip. So I'm able to tell when the volume isn't adjusted because you guys can see like this line here is lower than this line. So if we listen to it, this is okay. And then when we go over here, it's louder, we don't like that. We want everything to be consistent. So in order to adjust the volume this other way, you just select the clip and then you click this little speaker thing, and next to volume, you want to type in -12 and hit enter. And that's going to go ahead and adjust the line. So now we can see they're both at the same level. So the first thing I do is just make sure all of my clips volumes are consistent. -12 and then -12. So I know I also recorded an outro, so let me see. Yeah, so this is the outro. The next thing I'm going to do, so this is the outro here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this screen recording here because this is the order it's gonna go in. The next thing that I like to do when I have my clips on a timeline is to just remove any empty spaces. And when I say that, that's basically like starts of clips and ends of clips. So if we click on this here and let it play, we see all of this is silence. So I can tell by looking at the wavelength, which is basically like this shadowed area here, that all of this is silence and can be removed. So in order to remove, I'm gonna go ahead and hit B on my keyboard, which basically activates this blade feature. And I'm going to slice it. And then I'm going to hit A on my keyboard, select what's gonna be deleted and hit delete. So once again, you know, I can see here at the end of this clip, I'm silent. So I'm just gonna hit B on my keyboard, slice the clip here, hit A on my keyboard, select the clip and delete it. So I like to do this before I get into editing because it just makes the process more efficient. When anything that is silent, I just go ahead and delete, because sometimes, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, I'm either thinking or I'm trying to figure things out. Here we can see that the volume went lower. These in between ones, I'll leave until I'm editing because it could be that I'm whispering something or, you know, it's there for a reason, but I just make sure that I clip the beginnings and the ends of each clip. Here I was trying to get a thumbnail. So I'm just gonna remove this because this is not gonna stay in the video. I just scroll through and anywhere I see low wavelengths, I will delete it. Here I was like thinking, so I'm just gonna delete this. Here I was thinking. So remember earlier when I said to be intentional when you're recording things, this is what I mean. It'll make the process easier. If I'm sitting here and trying to figure out what I'm gonna say next, X, Y, and Z just makes the process harder, you know? So at the end. Okay, so this is a screen share now. I have to put the audio with it. And then this is the end. Cool. So with my videos, you guys know I have an intro and an outro. So I'm gonna go ahead and insert that now. So I'm hitting Command I on my keyboard. And I save my intro and my outro in the general folder of my external hard drive. So this is the intro and the outro. I'm gonna select them and then I'm gonna hit import selected. And then I'm basically going to drag them into their respective sections on a timeline. So I know my intro usually goes after I say, hey y'all, it's your girl Kensthetic with the Kensthetics, da 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 da. That's where I put the intro. So I'm gonna cut it here using the blade feature. I just hit B on my keyboard and then I'm going to find the intro and drag it here. Once again with my intro, I wanna make sure that the volume is consistent, so -12. And when we go at the end of the timeline, this is where the outro is gonna go. When I throw up my peace sign, and I'm gonna adjust that volume to -12. -12, cool. So next, I'm gonna go ahead and put in transitions for the beginning and for the intro and the outro. So this is how it looks now. I'll show you guys a before and the after. Today with a new video. It's just like a abrupt transition. I don't like that. So I like to go ahead and use transitions. So Final Cut Pro comes with transitions, and then you can either purchase or like find some way to download transitions for free. Y'all know me. Wherever the free 99 is at, that's where your girl is at. So all of these transitions here that didn't come with the Final Cut Pro program, I found them online for free. So I will link the video where I was able to find these transitions from. I believe the girl's name on YouTube was Kayla. Her video was really helpful, so I will link that video down below. And if I have any of these specific links where I downloaded them from, I will leave those down below as well. So make sure you guys check the description box. But for my intro and my outro, I like to use this package here, the Lucas Erickson Smooth Transitions. I use transition 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and select my intro, and then I'm gonna take the transition I want and drag it on. Why it keeps doing that? Like, what's T? Sometimes, yeah. Okay, cool. So it's gonna say there is not enough extra media beyond clips. Girl, hit create transition, okay? And that is going to create the transition from me saying, hey guys, to you guys seeing the intro. So let me play it now so you guys can see the difference. You guys today with a new video. So I have to play with this a little bit sometimes because I don't like when I say video, it cuts off. So you want to leave like a little extra room and then drag the transition back and hit create transition. Today with a new video. Boom. Yep. So you guys see this transition is like a little swing. I like that. So I put that both at the beginning and the end of my intro. This video has been highly cool. So I like to do that, and then I also like to use the same transition to go from the end of the video to my outro. So I'm just gonna select this clip and then drag this transition here, hit create transition, and play it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cool, so that's done. That's the intro and outro. I have a separate video on how I create my intro and outro. So if you guys want to create one yourselves, I will link that video down below in the description box. So many people found it helpful. I believe it's almost at 10,000 views. So shout out to y'all. Thank you so much for supporting me on that video. But I showed you guys detailed step-by-step how I created one of my previous YouTube intros and outros. So make sure you guys check out that video to make your own. But I generally make my own YouTube intros and outros just in case you guys were curious. So next up, I want to speak to you guys about fonts. So as I am going through my video, I like to display things, and I think fonts are super helpful and help with the engagement of your audience as they're watching your videos. In order to create like writing on your video, you're gonna go ahead and click this little icon here with the T for text. It's loading. And then under titles, you're gonna go ahead and drag this basic title onto your timeline. So for instance, I'm just playing around to show you guys different things that you can do. But for instance, I'll put how to edit long form content. I'll just put this on the screen at the beginning, right? So in order to change the font of this text, you're gonna select it here. You're gonna select, oh my God, come on, do not embarrass me while I'm talking to these people. You're gonna select this icon here with the lines. And then you're gonna have all of these options here of how you wanna adjust your text. So I'm gonna go ahead and select all of the text. Make sure I correct this typo. Select all of the text, and then next to font, you'll select the font that you want from the drop down menu. So I have tons of fonts that one came with my program / computer, and two I have downloaded from online. So I want to show you guys real quick how I download different fonts. So I use the website defont.com. This is where I download all of my fonts from. So fonts that you guys see in my thumbnails, fonts that you guys see throughout my YouTube videos, I get them from this website here, defont.com. They have all types of different fonts, but I will say that when you use these fonts, you want to be very mindful of the rights of these fonts based on the creator of them. So for instance, like this Yellow Rocks font, it says it's free for personal use. So it shows you here where you can use it. So if you have a business, this is specifically important for you, because if you're using it for business use versus personal use, those are two different things. So you want to know the purpose of using the fonts as well as what the copyright of the font owner is specified as. So you can see it here as you like scroll through different fonts, but I like to find, I don't want to say basic fonts, but I don't like anything too fancy. So most of the fonts that I use are under this section here, basic, and then I just click on sans serif, or you can click on basic too. Let's click on basic. Let's click on basic instead. Basic. And when you click on basic, it'll show you all of these different types of fonts. So sans serif, serif, fixed width, various. It's just basic fonts. So it's nothing like too crazy, nothing too bold, nothing too like pixelated or cursive or whatever. These are usually easier to read, and that's what you want to be mindful of when it comes to putting fonts on your thumbnail as well as within your videos. You want to make sure that they are easy to read for your audience. So I'm gonna find one that I have not downloaded yet and I like. So I'll show you guys the process of how to install the font onto your computers. So I think I scrolled through all of these pages already. So I'm gonna download this font here, Choppin' by Font Fabric. It says it's 100% free. So whether you're using it for a business or whatever the case is, you can use this font. So I'm just gonna click download. Download. And then once you go in downloads on your computer, I hope I don't have nothing y'all not supposed to see in here. But once you click in downloads, you just want to find it. So it downloads as a zip file. You're going to double click on that zip file, and then it's going to open the zip file into a folder on your computer. So this font only has one option, so it's not going to go as a folder, it's just going to go as a font, a TTF file. You'll either see TTF files or OTF files when it comes to downloading fonts, but that's basically the file that houses the actual like the font installation. So I'm going to double click on that, and it's going to open the font book. And then it allows you to preview the font before you download it. So this is what the alpha character is going to look like, uppercase and lowercase, and this is what the numeric character is going to look like. You're just going to go ahead and hit install. And in order for it to appear, we are going to have to close the program and reopen it. So I'm going to do that so we can actually find the font. So I went ahead and restarted my Final Cut Pro program so that the new font can be installed and available in our font library. So now when we search, we see Choppin', which is our which is our font. So whenever I introduce font onto the screen, I always like to insert like a little noise, a little click, a little clack, so that it can catch a viewer's attention, especially as you progress more into the video. A lot of people's attention spans usually sink, so you want to make sure you're doing things so that the viewer can stay engaged and stay, tuned in. So I have these sound bits that I just downloaded off of YouTube. So I like to use iOS sound effects. So this file has like all of these, like things we hear on our phone. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pop that in to our timeline. There's one specific sound in here that I like to use. It's this one right here. And I know it because I use it all the time. So I just basically clipped that file just so I can have this one sound. And you want to make sure whenever you introduce a sound effect that it basically lines up with whatever the pop-up on the screen is. So I can identify based on the wavelength. So I want the wavelength to basically start, I'm going to zoom in so I can really see. I want the wavelength to start at the same time as my text. So now when we zoom out and play it, it's in sync and we love that. So that is how I find fonts, install fonts, and use fonts throughout my videos. But now we're gonna move into music because music is probably the most interesting and the most asked about part of videos, especially vlogs. So I find all of my music on SoundCloud. And my SoundCloud feed has basically gauged what I like to listen to or what I like to come up, and they have these playlists. This one is like the daily drop. So these are daily songs that SoundCloud kind of like puts together based on my taste in music. I said, okay. So I like to just go through and save music on a regular basis because this specific playlist uploads or updates each and every day. So I'll just go through and listen to some of the music. So let's see. Okay. 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 So I'm gonna save that because I like it. Let's see whatever she wants. So when it comes to finding music, there's two elements to it. There is the beat and then there's also the like voice. So you want to make sure that both are different from one, the original song, and two, any song. So if for instance this whatever she wants, it's the lyrics to the song, the voice isn't the same, so that's fine, but I feel like this beat may be the beat for another song. So YouTube may strike it as a copyright strike, but I'm going to show you guys a little later on what I like to do to make sure before I go ahead and upload my videos, how I check if a song has copyright strikes. Let's see what this is about. So this will most likely have a copyright strike because even though the audio, like the singing is different, this beat is a Jay-Z mashup beat, but most likely it's gonna strike as a copyright. Let's see this. Okay. Okay. You are really special. I like that. I'm trying to find something like basic. This is a mix. You can tell it's a mix because it's long. So this is like my feed of music, and then there's people that I follow. These are like the main people I follow to find songs, so you guys can reference this if you guys want to know who to follow to find like good background music. But to answer the question of music, I find my music on SoundCloud, and I just make sure it doesn't have any copyright strikes, which I'm going to show you guys how I do that in a few. So I'm just going to use a audio file that I have saved already. No, actually I'm going to download a song with you guys so I can show you guys how I download music off of SoundCloud. So On SoundCloud, I'll like, you know, go through, for instance, this guy's page. I'll see, you know, what songs he has. This is a little bit too upbeat for me. Let me go to my boy page because he always has something I like. This guy, Noelis. He usually has good and recent music. Okay, I don't think I have this one. Oh. Okay, so I want to download this song, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and click on the title of the song and copy the link. And then I'm gonna go to Google and I'm just gonna type in SoundCloud to MP3. And you're gonna receive a whole bunch of different websites where you can basically convert a SoundCloud file to an MP3 file, which is the type of file that we want it to be to put it into Final Cut Pro. So I'm just gonna paste the link here and then I'm gonna click download MP3. Some of these websites tend to have pop-ups, XYZ, especially if you leave them open for a long period of time. And then you're just gonna click download MP3 and we have a pop-up. But I believe it's downloading. And then I'm just gonna go to my downloads on my computer. Another pop-up. Another pop-up. Download the song. Download. Oh, it downloaded. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out. And then I'm gonna come back to Final Cut Pro and open that file within downloads. Import this file and then it'll be here for you to use. So I'm not gonna use this song in this video because it's a little bit too much. I just like to use like a beat in the background of like talking videos, but you just want to bring it onto your timeline. And whenever I have music in the background of talking, I'll put it to like negative 44, 45. And then whenever I have it in B-roll, I'll put it to the negative 12 that we spoke about earlier. So so next up, when I'm editing, I like to put my Instagram handle at the beginning of my video. So I'll show you guys how I do that. So I'm gonna click on this little text icon here. And I actually downloaded this package from that young lady's video that I mentioned earlier. I believe her name is Kayla. I will have the link down below to her video. But she showed how to download this whole packet of like animations. So I have these like social media ones in here. So these are the ones you guys usually see me use. So I'll just drag it onto my timeline. And then over here, you're gonna have to click on this first icon with the T, and this will allow you to adjust it. So you have the options to change your social media platform. So I put Instagram, but it'll update the logo right away. So I'm gonna put Instagram. And then I type my Instagram handle in. It's at Kensthetic _. If y'all don't follow me already, make sure y'all do. Quick little plug. And then I go ahead and I make this speech bubble a little wider. And then I also move the text over like that. So X is horizontal and Y is vertical, but I just go ahead and move the text so that it can fit within this speech bubble. And then I click this little icon here so that I can resize it and move it to the corner of the screen. So I'm just gonna click this icon, click transform, and then you'll see like these toggles which you can use to like resize the animation. And I'm gonna drag it to like the corner of the screen, which is what I usually do. And I need the speech bubble a little wider, so I'm going to adjust that functionality. Yes, that is perfect. Once again, when my Instagram handle comes up on the screen, I like to have a little sound effect. So I actually found this like mouse click sound effect on YouTube, and I just have it saved in my other external hard drive. Sound effects, mouse click. But you can just type in mouse click in YouTube and you'll be able to find it. Mouse clicks are usually the same. Once again, mouse clicks are not a specific sound. Most of them sound the same. So I'll try to link one or for you down below so you guys can find those. But I'll just make sure it's lined up like so. So that now when we play it, I'm gonna make this shorter. So now when we play it, y'all see? Cool. So I want to show you guys, for instance, if you want to find youtube.com, if you want to find a sound effect, so remember how I told you guys I use like these iOS sound effects and then this mouse clip sound effect. So you'll just go over to YouTube and you'll just type in whatever you're looking for, or you can just open the links that I'll have down below. I'll include a link to this iOS sound packet, like all of the new iOS sound effects, as well as some mouse click options. But you'll just go to YouTube and you'll search it. So say for instance you want a mouse click sound effect. See, it already comes up. You just find the video. So let's do this one. Okay. Cute little quick sound effect. So you're just gonna copy the link and then you're gonna go to Google and type in YouTube to MP3. You can download it as an MP3 or MP4 file, but MP3 is usually easier and takes up less space. Oh, I'll show you guys how I put my subscribe button on the screen. So once again, you would go to YouTube and you would just put in subscribe button green screen. You want to make sure it's a green screen video. That is super important. So you can scroll through and find, you know, whichever one you like. I'm just going to use this one as an example. So when I say green screen, this is what I mean. The back of the video is green. It could be light green, it could be dark green, but it just has to be green. Look at me right here. Make sure y'all watch this recent video, okay? Period. But you're going to go ahead and copy the link, and then you can also do it in this same website. Just make sure it says convert video to MP4, paste the link and click convert. So when you come over to Final Cut Pro, you'll just hit Command I and find that MP4 file in your downloads and then hit import. And now you can just drag it onto your timeline. But when you play this clip, it looks like this. We don't like that. We don't want this green thing in the back. So you're gonna go over here and click on effects, and you're gonna wanna make sure all is selected, and you're gonna type in keyer, K-E-Y-E-R, and you're gonna see this green screen keyer. So you're basically going to drag this effect on top of this clip and it removes the background. So that is a quick way to find anything. That is a quick way to remove backgrounds on like green screens. And I'm just gonna adjust this volume to -12. So now when we play it, it's like this. Cool. And now y'all know I like it in the corner. So I'm just gonna make sure I hit this button here, hit transform. We'll see the controls and we can shrink, make it bigger, we could flip it, put it box side, we could do a lot of things. So I'm just gonna make it small and drag it to the corner here. And now it's like this. Cool. So I also wanted to show you guys how I edit to a certain beat. So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that in this vlog that I actually need to edit for you guys. So we're flipping over to a different project now, this 324 vlog. And you guys know at the beginning of some of my vlogs, I'll have like a brief little summary of what's gonna take place throughout the vlog. I wanna show you guys how I do that. So the first thing that I do is I just collect clips that I wanna put. So I'm just gonna scroll through and just find some random clips. Let's just take this. I'm just using B on the keyboard to slice it. And then I'm gonna hit Command C, and I'm going to move our cursor to the beginning and hit Command V so that I can paste. So let me find something else. I use this clip. So I just copied the whole clip. I'm going to paste it here, and I'm just gonna make it shorter. We'll use this clip here, but you just want to accumulate all of the clips. Don't focus on how long they are yet, because I'm going to show you guys what I do. So I try to take a clip from like each major part of the vlog. So this, when I unbox this, you guys are going to see this vlog after this video, so make sure y'all tune in. Don't take this as a spoiler, okay? Y'all still gotta tune into the vlog. But look how much footage I have, 3 hours and 46 minutes, just to give you guys a sense of how long I have to edit for. Okay, cool. So this is enough clips for me to practice or show you guys with. So I'm gonna go ahead and import that water file that we just found on SoundCloud. I'm gonna hit Command I, and let me shrink this window so you guys can see. I'm gonna go to my downloads, find that water file, and then I'm gonna click import selected. I don't know if you guys were able to see this before, but I just wanted to shrink the window screen so you guys could see what I'm clicking. So I found water, and I'm gonna import selected. So now I'm gonna go ahead and drag water onto the timeline underneath these clips that we accumulated. I'm gonna hit Command = to zoom in, because the wavelengths are gonna be super important here to show us like how we want to edit so that it can match the beat. So the wavelengths, as I mentioned before, are these shadows underneath when the beat goes up and down. So I'm gonna clip it here once the beat picks up. The beginning is a little too slow for me to try to edit to the beat. So I'm just gonna drag this over so we can start from here. I'm gonna hit Command = to zoom in a little bit more so I can see the wavelengths more precisely. So when it's up, that shows like, oh, something's going on. And then when it goes down, when there's a little dip, that's when things, you know, calm down, and that's a great place to like start a new clip. So let's listen. So I'm gonna clip it here. I'm gonna delete the rest of this because we no longer need it. So you just have to kind of like feel the beat and see what feels right. And the way I do it may not be the same way that you guys like interpret it, but you know, you just vibe to the music. Drive to the music. The music should move like your waistline. When you get what I'm saying? Yeah. So let's see. I'm gonna clip it here. Don't mind what's included in the clips. I just want to show you guys the thought process behind it. So I'm just clipping it so it matches the beat. But this is basically what I do when you guys see the beginning of my vlogs and you know the clips go with the beat. This is how I do it. I just pay attention to the wavelengths and cut the clips where I feel like, you know, I would tick and tock my waistline. Same methodology here, same methodology. Cool. So that is basically how I edit the clips that go in the front of my vlog. I want to show you guys how I designed that screen. So you guys usually see like a shadow of a color and text on top of it. So I'll show you guys quickly how I do that. You're going to go ahead and click this T icon at the top. You're going to scroll down to generators, solids, and find this custom screen, and I'm gonna drag this onto the timeline on top of these clips. So it's black right now, but if you click on this little number 2 icon, it allows you to adjust the color. I have these colors saved. So say for instance, I use this yellow one, and then you're gonna click on the second icon, this little film strip, and adjust the opacity lower so that you can have this like color hue. And then I'll go up to titles and grab our basic title once again. Basic title, and drag that onto the timeline. And then I usually type like in this vlog. And I'm gonna go ahead and change the font. So I like to put something that's like bold here, kind of. So say for instance, I decide to use this random font. I like to put drop shadow whenever I'm using white as the font color because it adds a shadow behind it so the text stands out more. And I'm just gonna increase the size of the font. So this is like an example. This is an example of what you can. It's actually cute. Whoa, 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 whoa. So that is how I design like the beginnings of my vlogs. So now I want to show you guys, okay, you found a new song. You don't know if it's going to be like strikes for copyright. How do you check that? So I'm going to flip back to my how to edit project. And within the event, I'm going to create a new project. So I just right click on how to edit and click new project. And I'm gonna name this project songs. So I usually use this project to accumulate all of the songs that I add into a vlog so I can upload that file separately to YouTube ahead of me uploading my full vlog. And the reason I do this is one, because this file is way smaller, so YouTube is able to like process it and run checks on it faster than it will with a vlog that's like an hour and a half, if that makes sense. So once we have this songs project, I'm gonna click on this little T icon, scroll down to generators, solids, and I'm just gonna bring this black onto the timeline, and I'm gonna stretch it long enough so that, you know, I could build all of the songs onto it. I haven't found, you know, all of the music I want to use for the vlog or for this sit down video yet. So for now, we're just gonna check this water file. So I'm gonna drag water onto this project's timeline. I'm gonna put it to -12 because that's like the loudest it would be. And then I'm gonna make sure I drag this so that's the song and this generator are the same length. So now that we have this songs project, I am going to save it. So I'm gonna hit file, share, export file. So whenever you're exporting files, this is in general, whether it's the IG promo, the full YouTube video, you want to make sure your settings are correct because your settings are literally going to make or break your upload and download process. So you want to make sure that the size of the project makes sense. And if you're new to this, you're probably like, I don't know what that means. So here are my, okay, this is part 2 of screen recording 4. But here are my settings right here. You can go ahead and take a picture, write it down, whatever you have to do. But this video code C or codec, whatever, this is very important. So you guys see with it being H.264, the size of the file is 1 gigabyte basically. If I change this to Apple ProRes 444, it changes it to 18 gigabytes. Like, that is huge. That is huge. That's like the size of my vlogs when they're an hour and a half long. So you want to make sure that your vid codec is at H.264. So once again, these settings remain the same in my Final Cut Pro. So I'm just going to go ahead and click next. And I like to save these files in the same folder as everything else for this related video. So I'm just going to navigate to my external hard drive and find that 321 how to edit folder to save this songs project to. So we are here in the 321 how to edit folder, save as songs, and I'm just gonna hit save. So since this file is only 1 gigabyte large, it's not gonna take long to export from Final Cut Pro, but you know, when I have hour-long vlogs, they take a while to export. They do, and they also take a while to upload. So you just want to be mindful of the size of your files as far as like timing when it comes to exporting as well as importing within YouTube. So you can see the progress of the download here. And if you click on this little icon, it shows you like it's 43, 44, 46% done saving. And it usually goes up to like 84%, and then it'll pause, and then it'll just be at 100%, just so you guys know. So here's the progression. Just a few more seconds, and then we should have our song. So I like to use this as a technique before I commit to using a song in my vlogs, because the worst thing you want to do is have an hour-long vlog and then you put it in YouTube, put it live, or it's ready to go live, and it comes back like, you can't use that song. So we have our songs file here. I'm gonna close this out, and then in our internet window, I'm just going to go to YouTube and click this little icon here, which is the create. I'm going to click upload video, and then I'm going to select the file, navigate to my external hard drive and to that specific how to edit folder, 2024 March 321 how to edit, and then songs, which is the file we just exported from Final Cut Pro. I'm gonna hit open. It usually uploads pretty quickly because it's a small file, and then you're gonna have to wait for it to process and for checks to run. And this basically is YouTube saying, hey, we're checking across our platform if anyone has rights or ownership of either A, the beat, or B, the actual singing, the voice over the song. So that's why when I was in SoundCloud and I was trying to choose what music I wanted to gravitate towards, if it's a familiar beat or it feels or sounds like a familiar beat, I'm gonna leave that alone, because I don't want to, like, I'm trying to work efficiently here. Y'all get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna wait for this to finish process. And in the meanwhile, let me just flip back to here to see if there's anything else I needed to walk you guys through. I feel like I went through this so quickly, but I also feel like this video is gonna be so long. But I'll just go through and like edit, clip out anything that doesn't need to be there, any any smacking of the mouth, any of that. I'm gonna edit that out. So I like to take my time and skim through everything. Yeah, I'm just gonna skim through. I'll put my volume on and do this in more specific details. But I think this is everything that I wanted to show you guys in this video. Let me hear my ASMR. All of this equipment, and I'm gonna link down below. Make sure you check the description box. Okay. I am a clown. So I think that's it that I wanted to show you guys in this video. So now you can see that YouTube is checking. It says it's at 4% and there are 10 minutes left. Look, so it says checks complete, copyright protected content found. You see that? That means this song is no bueno. So if you go to checks, it shows you like copyright protected content found. Your video can't be monetized and people in some countries can't watch it. So it's not blocked from all countries, it's just blocked from some countries. And then when you click on see details, it'll show you like it's basically detecting the original song somewhere in the video, whether it be the beat or the voice over it. So it won't be a great fit. So I would have to go back to the drawing board and find another song on SoundCloud and repeat this same process. Talk is cheap, so show me. So those are the basics as far as what I do to edit my YouTube videos, but I also wanted to share with you guys how I remain consistent with video ideas and, you know, just uploading regularly. One, I have a running list of YouTube video ideas. So video ideas that I want to do, video ideas that you guys ask for. If you're struggling with video ideas, I'm telling you guys, read your comments, ask your audience what they want to see, and then create from there, because you're creating the content for yourself but also for your audience. So you always want to make sure you keep your audience in mind as well. And once you read through those comments, girl, you'll know what types of videos you need to create for your audience. So say for instance, you mainly upload vlogs and people are always commenting, asking you about your hair or asking you about your makeup or asking you about your skincare, whatever the case is. That shows that your audience is more interested in those things as well. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm giving y'all a hair video. I'm giving y'all a skincare video. I'm giving y'all a makeup video. And you can go from there. But read your comments, listen to what your audience is asking for, and that will give you more than enough video ideas. Also, don't be afraid to play around. Do not be afraid to play around. I told you guys at the beginning of this video that my YouTube channel is catered towards me uploading videos about anything I'm interested in at the time. And with me doing that, it shows my current audience other things I'm interested in, and it also gives me an opportunity to attract a whole nother audience. So I would recommend that you guys try different types of content styles and content ideas and see where that goes. But yes, have a running list of YouTube video ideas and listen to your audience's suggestions as far as content that they would like to see. And girl, we climbing to the top together, okay? We are climbing to the top together. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed sitting here and explaining everything to you guys in detail as I promised. As I mentioned earlier, all of the links to the equipment as well as the programs and anything else I mentioned in today's video will be linked down below in the description box. So make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. I really hope that at least one person found this video helpful. So if that one person was you, make sure you comment down below and just let me know what you learned from this video or what you would like to learn in future iterations and continuations of this video. Comment down below and I will be sure to respond as well as incorporate it into one of my future videos. I love you guys so much. If you are, trying to become a content creator, if you're trying to get in your content bag, if you are a business owner and you just want to enhance your skills and improve on yourself for your business, I really hope you reach your target audience, and I really hope that you learned something from this video, because that is the most important thing for me, that you guys actually learn from my content. But I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much if you watched all the way until the end. If you did, comment down below with pink emojis so I know who my girls and who my boys who made it all the way until the end of this video are. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one.